Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so this is going to be a reading on the New York criminal trial against Donald Trump. Sentencing was supposed to happen on July 11th. That's been postponed. Why, you ask? Well, with the Supreme Court's ruling on presidential immunity, Donald Trump and his attorneys are trying to argue that all the charges should be tossed. Alvin Bragg said he didn't have a problem with Judge Merchan delaying sentencing because he needs to consider the arguments about presidential immunity that Trump is going to make in the court. The postponement sets the sentencing for September 18th at the earliest. Okay, so what happened? It's like this is a state case. Why is the Supreme Court's ruling even impacting it? Well, the argument's going to be that some of the evidence that was used in the trial, such as Trump cutting checks to Michael Cohen, were done while he was in the White House. So they're going to try and argue somehow that that's an official act or something. Hope Hicks' testimony, there could be a testimony that was included that was after he was in the White House. So there might be some argument about some of the testimony, some of the evidence was prejudicial because it shouldn't have been considered. Now, mind you, this case happened prior to the Supreme Court's ruling. So I'm not quite sure how that impacts things. And then you've also got they were also using social media tweets of Trump when he was in the presidency. So all sorts of stuff that needs to be considered. This will obviously delay sentencing. It moves it from July to September, and then Judge Merchan needs to rule if some evidence, if the case stays the same, if evidence can be removed, or if they have to have a new trial. Regardless of how he rules, this case will likely be, his ruling will likely be appealed to the appellate court in New York, and then they'll have to rule on it. What does that mean? Well, it means that Trump's likely not going to be incarcerated prior to the election. But we'll see. We'll see what the cards have to say about that. It's disappointing. I didn't expect Trump to be incarcerated before the election anyways, but I did expect the sentence to be hashed out. It's possible the sentence is still hashed out at that point. Let's see. Okay, entertainment purposes only. What is the energy around Trump's immunity plea? How is that going to impact this case? 6 of coins. Well, Judge Merchan's now going to have to look at all the evidence again and figure out if the case can stand on its merits. What is there anything that he's going to give to Trump, anything he's going to give to the district attorney, and he's going to have to rule on the evidence. He's got to look at the evidence again to see how it's going to impact this case. Crossing it is the Page of Swords. We've now got this new ruling, a pair of pages here. You got this new idea, this new way of doing things here with the Supreme Court ruling. And it's a really odd ruling, and it's going to require thinking outside the box, I guess. Again, this is all unprecedented because we've never had to deal with this before. But the Supreme Court ruling itself is kind of flabbergasting because it's sort of like it shouldn't be applicable here. And I think Trump's team is going to try and say it is applicable. They may not have as much success as they would like. We'll see. But in the end, this is having to relook at things, examining the stuff over again. Now there's a fish in your cup and a cat on your head. Now, what do you think about this case, huh? Trump's already out there saying he's been totally exonerated. He really likes that phrase, total exoneration. This doesn't give him total exoneration. It gave him immunity. Exoneration means he didn't do it. And the thing is that we know what he did. And that might ultimately be the bigger concern. It's not that he doesn't go to prison, but we know what he did and why he did it. Okay, in the past you got the Three of Coins. Here's your hush money payment. Here's the conspiracy to keep it quiet. Your conspiracy to defraud the voters of the United States. Now that trial has already come and gone. He was found guilty of it. Current situation is heartbreak and betrayal. I'm going to firmly assign this to the conservative justices. This is almost like this is Sotomayor and Keegan and Jackson Brown. It's like they're heartbroken over how the 6 conservative justices ruled on this case and the implications it has for holding Trump accountable in his other cases. Now we have to, put a fish in the cup and a blue cap on and now look at this case all over again. The overarching energy is the Two of Cups. What a gift that's been given to the lying lion. The Supreme Court has given him an absolute gift, and now you have to rethink everything that you've done in this court case. There's going to be some agreement, though. Something looks like it'll come out of this. Lesson to be learned is the Devil card. Okay. Don't underestimate Trump. Don't underestimate Trump's minions. They are pulling out all the stops to keep Donald Trump out of prison and unaccountable for his heinous acts. One of the things that bothers me about the Supreme Court ruling is that there's no corruption clause. There's no clause here saying, if he does this, he's allowed to without fear of criminal prosecution unless it's done for, with criminal intent. The simplest example is, he's allowed to pardon people, but he's not allowed to sell these pardons at $10 million a pop. That would be corrupt intent type of thing. And there's nothing like that in here. It's just, Donald being allowed to get away with stuff again. The outcome is the Seven of Coins. There's going to have to be a reevaluation of the evidence and a reevaluation of the of this trial. That jives with a reading I just did earlier on the live stream with Marina and my brother. It's going to lead to the follow-up question, of course, which is going to be, will Judge Merchan have to toss out these convictions? Basically, will the case need to be retried? Can it be retried? Okay, first off, will the convictions be overturned? That's the first question we have to ask. Again, the other frustrating part here is this little quote from AP News. Monday's Supreme Court ruling granted broad immunity protections to presidents while also restricting prosecutors from citing any official acts as evidence in trying to prove a president's unofficial actions violated the law. I don't know why they felt the need to include that. He's already immune on the other stuff, but that doesn't mean that that wasn't used to... there's a difference between immunity versus top secret, I guess, or something along those lines. Let's see. Okay. Will Judge Merchan have to overturn this conviction? I don't like that card on the top. Let's see. Will Judge Merchan have to overturn this conviction? Now let's go for it. The Empress, taking care of things, making sure all needs are met. I guess that's both legal and illegal. Let's see, you've got the Empress here. Donald Trump's needs certainly got met with this. Is that also my Stormy Daniels card here? Cross with the Three of Pentacles. the conspiracy. It's going to hinge on his payments with Stormy Daniels and the conspiracy around it. That doesn't really change. Four of Swords. Having to pause and reflect on things. Asking if he's going to have to overturn it. Let's see. In the past, the Hanged Man. Looking at things from a new perspective, throwing oneself under the bus here. In the past, he has to, if tossing this out, he's going to have to revisit the case because the Supreme Court's ruling has turned everything upside down, turned everything on its ear here. Current situation is the Eight of Swords, this feeling of restriction and confinement, like your hands are tied. The overarching energy is weariness, a battle, angst. It's penultimate battle. It's waiting for what else is coming down the pike here, and just beaten and worn out. In the same position, the lesson to be learned is the Devil card. Everything that works in Trump's favor, everything he touches dies. But boy, some people are really good at pledging themselves to the devil. And same card, evaluating the evidence. I asked, will he have to overturn it? He has to decide what's best for the United States, but also what's best for Trump. He knows Stormy Daniels, right? He knows there's a conspiracy. This ruling should never have happened, but he's kind of stuck. His hands are tied. It's like, we're going to have to go through this again. I'm not sure. He has to look at he can make a ruling based on the evidence. And maybe some stuff will come out. There's a delay. There's just a delay while he's thinking things here. And it just might be that whatever he does is just like this is going to get appealed anyway. I'm not sure. I'm not excited about that. That Knight of Wands just makes me feel like, it just feels like there has to be another trial. And I'm going to ask that. Will there be another... well, that's just it. Will there be another trial? I'm going to assume that... well, I shouldn't assume. Okay, so let's do a challenge reading on this one. Will there be another trial, or let's see, will Trump be convicted on the left, my first row, and will there be another trial on the right? Because I think, even if you have to have another trial, I don't think Trump's going to get off scot-free on this one, is where I'm going with it. They might have to have another trial to get rid of the stuff that, the evidence that could not have been presented. But it happened before the ruling made. Let's see what the central challenge here is. The legacy. The legacy, the money, genetics. It's the legacy of it, this whole case here. Let's see. Will Trump be basically convicted? Will the judge uphold the ruling? Page of Cups. It's like he's got to revisit that. Yeah, that came up. There's the Empress. He knows that the court case as decided was correct, but now the parameters have changed. Knight of Swords. Things happening quickly, recklessly, even if we go too fast. Four of Coins. Having to keep things in. This is asking, will Trump be basically sentenced If he is, it it would be like some type of home confinement or something like that, and he gets to live in the luxury of his home. But honestly, to me, this feels like you have to really think about it. You can't make a rash decision over this new ruling. He kind of gets off scot-free because evidence gets suppressed. That's not what I was asking, though. On this one, it's like, will the charges be dismissed, or will there be a new trial? Seven of Swords, getting away with it. Queen of Pentacles, got to look at the finances all over again. There's the Devil card, center underneath it, and then looking at all the finances again. Underneath it is the truth is going to be exposed. This is kind of like the Supreme Court's decision, just tossing things on its ear. If they don't retry it, they might. I don't know how you would do this. I don't know. I don't think you can knock down the felonies at this point. I think they're going to have to retry the case. Honestly, Trump's gotten away with it. He gets away with everything. Hush money payments and all that. I mean, he's caught dead to rights. And maybe it's better that you can do that. This is such a weird reading. Maybe it's just the energy is just really confused right now. I'm sorry, I like to be a little more definitive here. I don't even know what I've told you at this point. Will there be... I've looked at the energy around it. I've done a challenge reading. But, in the end of the day... maybe this way to phrase it. Will the ruling stand as judge... No, the court case that was decided by the jury trial, will that ruling stand? How about we ask that? And then, what happens after that is what happens after that. But will that ruling stand? Will it be overturned? Will it stand? There's 34 felony convictions. Will that ruling stand? Will it be overturned? How is that ruling impacted? 7 Carter. We'll figure this out. 8 of Cups. Walking away. I don't think it will. I think it's going to be overturned. They're going to have to do it again. Yeah. Not liking this. Getting offers you don't like. This just... Emotionally, it's difficult. After all that... We're going to have to go through all this again. Yeah, making plans for it. If there can be another trial, there'll be another trial. It may be that we don't even get another trial off of this one. But I'm going to just say that I think there's going to be, people are going to get news they don't like, and we're going to have to walk away from it. That doesn't tell me that we're sticking with it. I mean, I'd love to say that that's Trump going away, and he doesn't like the fact that he still has all these charges against him. But you got the Two of Wands, planning, getting ready for the next step. Wheel of Fortune. In the past, this appeal for presidential immunities really confused everything that's going on right now. Current situation is the Ten of Wands, the burden card. The case that should have been over and done and dusted is now has to be dealt with again. Judge Rashan has to make a ruling on this. Queen of Pentacles, you're going to have to reevaluate the evidence. He had a tight case, and the jury came to the right verdict. But I think that it's going to be overturned. Knight of Wands. Now you got to go forward with a new plan. I think the case will have to be retried, and I think it will be retried. I'm sorry to say, I don't like that. But I'm trying to be fair and balanced with this one. I'd like to say Trump doesn't like what he hears. He's going away to prison. Ha ha, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Judge Mershon, he's a boss, and they caught him paying women money for that. But that's not what I'm getting with this. It shouldn't be the case, though. It's a state crime. It's a state crime, but there's some weird stuff. I don't know. I think there probably the argument's going to be is that some evidence came in that would be prejudicial that wouldn't be allowed if they retried the case. And Trump somehow feels like if they retried the case that he'll be totally exonerated in all caps. He won't be. It'll be the same result. But, maybe this time we'll let Stormy Daniels tell all the lurid details of what was going on, since Trump denies that he ever had sex with that woman. Maybe she'll have to have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know. But yeah, the way the energy looks now, it looks like when Judge Mershon hears this case in September, it looks like this case the convictions may be tossed out, and they'll have to contemplate if they're going to retry the case on him. That's how it looks now. It could change in the next 2 months. We'll find out. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm so this video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome. Glad you found us. Hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.